down to you, Geminis. You have the Lovers, which is Gemini, the Four of Wands, and then you also have the Sun card. So immediately you popped up, right? Immediately. The theme here is like reflection, what you see versus what other people see. Light, right? Some of you Geminis may feel like some of you Geminis may be in a place where you see that other people don't see you the way that you see yourself. They may see you completely differently, and it may not necessarily be how they see you. But it is fair for you to say that they see you this way, or it is fair for them to be like, for you Geminis to think it's like this. But for some of the people whom you may know, it is a little bit unfair that they see you in this particular light, because you Geminis may figure you're not anything like that. I don't know. And so now you have the Nine of Swords, and then you also have the King of Pentacles for you. So a lot of you are in a place where what you've got going on is, again, the Nine of Swords and the King of Pentacles. You're very much so in a place where what you've got going on is that, and you don't want those people back though, right? The people whom you had like falling out with and miscommunications with, it's not like you want them back. You're just as shrewd as anyone else can be, probably even more shrewd than they are, right? You know what you're doing. A lot of you Geminis understand, just based upon principle, you can't allow them to come back based upon how they've been moving. And so a lot of you Geminis are essentially, you've made your decision, you're sticking to it. You don't want to have anything to do with them. You're not going to want to have anything to do with them, right? Four of Swords, right? That's finished. That's finito for you Geminis. You want nothing to do with them. And so what's going on here is the Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles speaks to how, and since that's the case, what you've got going on is, it may be a little bit, it may be a little bit of a thing for them to actually accept, but they're going to have to accept this. You don't want anything to do with them. You want something more. You want something where, a lot of you are having a lot of you want romance. Let's put it out there. A lot of you want romance. From what I gather, if I had some money every time a person told me, they want something more, the romance, from what I gather, and I mean, I don't know, right? I didn't grasp all of that, right? But what I gather is that when it comes to romance, be unpredictable. Be unpredictable, be thoughtful. And from my understanding, it doesn't even have to go well all the time. Sometimes you can have a flop, but as long as it doesn't go too wrong, you should be okay. I don't know. That's what I'm getting from the thing, right? That's what I'm picking up. And, nothing stuck up, nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing stuck up, but like nothing that makes the person feel like stuck up and stuffy, right? I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think fancy restaurants are it. Fancy restaurants may be it just for like the ambiance and the show. Oh, look at who I'm kicking it with. But I really don't think that people really care about fancy restaurants like that, to be real with you. I think a person who's making the fancy restaurant thing a huge deal, I think they're completely missing the point of it all, right? I don't think the point of it is to actually go to the place to enjoy yourself. I think the point of it is to not enjoy yourself. It's to actually kind of see what's going on, laugh at how overpriced everything is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm losing it. I don't know. Don't listen to me on that one. But for you Geminis, you have the Eight of Pentacles and the high priestess, right? And so what's going on here for you, Geminis, is the Eight of Pentacles is like you want the things that you have been offered, the experiences that you Geminis have had, excuse me, specifically in relationships, you don't want it, right? The high priestess is about how you now want, again, the chemistry, the compatibility, right? It's not, like I said, it's not about the romance. It's definitely about the romance, and enjoying each other's time and company. But I don't think it's about the fancy restaurants. When I hear people say things like that, I think they're BSing. I don't. The reason why I say that is because you'll take a person to a restaurant, they won't eat the food. So then when you look at it and you go, why is it that this person ain't eating the food? Like, why? And this person asked to come here, right? They wanted to come here. They asked to come here. What is up? I personally don't think they like the food. I think they don't care. I think they will be okay with eating it, but I don't think they care about the actual place in the food per se. I think it's more so about the spending time from what I have observed. Now, again, I could be losing my mind. I don't know. But and so the situation for you is that if you Geminis are looking for that, then there are people out here who are like that. But you want, see, this is what I'm trying to say. Everybody trying to act tough. You want to have to say that though, right? This is like, if you want things, you got to ask for things sometimes. Sometimes people are a little bit more hard-headed and dense. Sometimes people can't understand what it is that sometimes people can't pick up what you're putting down, right? And so sometimes, a little bit, people can, they're a little bit more dense. You may have to articulate it. You Geminis may have to say it doesn't matter about the money. It matters about the connection, right? The spirituality, the connection, the covenant is the covenant with the Most High. You, the other person, and the Most High. That's the covenant that you want, right? Regardless of the who or what, even if you're on the, the way that, Clash of the Titans are, or it started, it doesn't matter if you're on like a boat, well, a ship, a boat, yeah, a boat, because it didn't have a motor. But it doesn't matter if you're on a boat with another person, or a ship, whatever, or a sea vessel with the other person, right? As long as you and the person are together and you're spending time, right? You can go through good times, bad times. It doesn't matter. It's more so about the time. And of course, you do have to spice things up by being unpredictable. Say that though. Say that, because this is why a lot of the times people go kind of wanting something else or wanting more, because now it's a sense of like not being able to articulate, or expecting the other person, intentionally not articulating it and expecting the other person to figure it out, to understand what's going on, to figure it out. And that's cool, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's cool and all of that. That's cool. But then at the same time, still being in a place where for you, this is more so about how y'all are like looking at it from a perspective of like, okay, if you want the chemistry, say that. If you want the time with the person, because what I'm really finding out is a lot of people honestly don't want to sound mushy. A lot of people trying to act tough. They don't want to sound mushy. They don't want to be like, well, I want to spend the quality time and want to do this and want to do that. They think people who say it, they think that's like soft. Like, oh, you're not supposed to say that. That's a violation. You're not supposed to say that. X. You're not supposed to say that. You soft. It's like, but everybody want that though. This is what everybody is talking about. And so there's something that you Geminis even want, right? You Geminis want things. A lot of you Geminis are deceptively simple and simply deceptive, meaning right, and complex at the same time. In other words, people. What I'm trying to say here is that you sometimes when you're not ready, when you're not willing to articulate with somebody, you will intentionally throw them off because you want them to figure it out. But you have to understand that sometimes though, a lot of people are not like me, where I'm trying to actually figure this thing out and to really, rack my brain and really figure it out and actually be like, and have a scientific mind, right? Some people really are that dense where they'll just be like, okay, you ask me for flowers every Sunday, I'll give you flowers every Sunday. They don't understand that what you're actually asking for is something creative. Think about them, consider them, to be that in love with you to the point where they just do random things for you, small or big, that remind you of how much it is that they love you, because they actually did consider you. And a lot of this stuff was accidental. A lot of this stuff was, spontaneous. A lot of this stuff was really unplanned. They thought about you deeply to the point where they just wanted to be in a relationship with you, and they just want to keep being in a relationship with you, and this is that. But you got to articulate that. So let's clarify the high priestess. Right, because another thing that I'm seeing here is the Eight of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Because if you don't kind of let it be known that, you want someone to consider you, you want someone to, every now and again be unpredictable, that will actually mess things up if you don't let them know. Some people, to be fair, some people can figure it out. A lot of people don't. A lot of people will go by what you say, like, oh, okay, you want, I don't know, you want chocolates every Thursday, I'll get you some chocolates every Thursday, right? And it stops becoming spontaneous, right? It starts becoming more routine. And so while other people figure it out, right? Like, okay, be spontaneous. All right, okay, I got you. There's nothing wrong with consistency, but also be spontaneous too. Do your thing. And so to clarify, the High Priestess represents how it's the Four Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, the Hermit, which is also Gemini, and then you have the Hermit is Virgo, excuse me. It could be a Virgo, doesn't have to be. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune. Could be any of the zodiac signs. The High Priestess, again, the High Priestess is really about like, again, like people's intentions and seeing people's intentions through the BS, right? The Four of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords speaks to you about how they have to be in love with you. They have to care about you, right? But again, it has to come naturally. But what I'm trying to let you know is you got to help the person sometimes figure that out, though, Gemini. A lot of y'all want some things that you can have, but y'all be air signs throw people for a loop intentionally. Y'all give people the decoy, but you got to understand though that not everybody's going to be willing to figure it out like that though. Not everybody's brains is built like that, where they're like, I want to figure out what the mystery here is. What am I not picking up on? Because what you got going on here is that Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, you Geminis can be in relationships with some people if you want to, but it just depends. Are they willing to be in a relationship with you? Are they willing to figure out certain things? Are you as well, right? It's not just you, it's the both of you. And then you have the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune, and a lot of you Geminis are choosing to be by yourselves, and you don't have to be. That's the thing, right? A lot of y'all may feel like Nobody out here can actually figure you out and to actually really understand that you want real love. Yeah, but sometimes a person may really love you, but they just haven't. You got to understand, like, you got to understand, right? I learned how to be unpredictable at a young age. I learned studying metaphysics how to be unpredictable at like 13, 14, basically. Learning how to embrace unpredictability and let a little bit of unpredictability kind of like enter into my space, and then started using predictability with unpredictability and then mixing the two. Not everybody does this, right? Like when you have people who don't understand that, they want you got to understand people are dysfunctional and all over the place and unpredictable. A lot of the times people are trying to grasp onto predictability as best as they can. So I honestly hope that helps, Gemini. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We are at 26,925 subscribers. We're basically coming up on 27,000 quickly. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.